To those who don't know me, I am a native Hawaiian. I'm here to represent, as commander, our veterans of Foreign War Post 849. And we of the VFW are deeply disturbed by the action taken by a few to deny our soldiers the training that they need. And you know, these protesters have either been misled or badly misinformed. For example, Mr. MAKUA E.I.S.pt3 said militarism is like placing a brothel in a church. Soldiers are trained here in Hawaii and they go out and they kill. Dr. Fred Dodge said, welcome to the warfare state. And then he went on agreeing with Mr. E.I.S.pt3. And these are typical protester comments, and I want to say, these protesters fail to understand the lesson the United States learned from the war, from the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. And the lesson was that the only way to deter and prevent wars is by having a strong, well-trained, and well-equipped armed forces. And that's right, our armed forces are a deterrent to wars. And let me ask you, how many of you would pick a fight with somebody who is bigger, stronger, trained to fight? How many of you would do that? Not very many, if any. On December 7, 1941, we were not prepared. We were ill prepared for that war. We were weak. Regarding the kapu, Mr. William Eiler said the kapu was supposedly overthrown, continues today. I have kapus. I'm living proof that it hasn't gone away. Well, Mr. Eiler refuses to accept the fact that Kamehameha II did indeed abolish the Hawaiian religion and the kapu that supported it. Why? Because the penalty for breaking the kapu, as we all know, is death. During World War II, Hawaii was under martial law. MAKUA's military reservation was desperately needed for our Navy to practice ship-to-shore firing. Planes needed to practice to fire on land targets. It was the only suitable area for long-range artillery firing. We were at war, and thousands of lives were at stake. And now our Army is being sued for what was done to the environment while under martial law, and during the years they continued to train to fight in Korea and Vietnam. This is what really angers us, the veterans of foreign wars. Those few who believe that the environment now suddenly takes precedence over the lives of our soldiers, many of whom are our relatives, our friends, and our neighbors. Regarding Chapter 3, I'm requesting that all references to oral and oral history be deleted from the report. Many of the supposedly cultural sites have been identified through oral history. Oral history references the manner in which Hawaiians 189 years ago preserved their history, a way of recording their ali'i's ancestry. Why? Because they didn't have a written language. Individuals were selected and trained in this skill. They had to memorize through chants the information they were responsible for. Errors were not tolerated and were punishable by death. What the EIS is alluding to is word of mouth about what happened. This form of information is often contradictory and misleading. Also request that all references to Hawaiian religion, gods, and sacredness attributed to them be deleted. What is referred to as culturally sacred has no connection whatever to any religion or god. It is someone's personal opinion. In 1819, Kamehameha II purposely broke a sacred kapu by sitting down and eating with his mother and some other women. He then ordered the Hawaiian religion and the kapu that supported it to be abolished, and that god idols be burned and heiaus on all of the islands to be demolished. The order was supported by all of the kahunas, and I'm talking about the priests, even to the extent that Chief Kahuna Hewa destroyed his own heiau. This order removed any and all references of sacredness pertaining to the religion and its gods. Furthermore, I'm Thank God. Furthermore, the practice was never restored by any of the succeeding monarchs.
I live in Hawaii, and I've been over in Hawaii since '79, and if you want to go back to about military experience, my family got thrown out of the debtor's prison back in '72, got mixed up in the revolution. My great-great-grandfather, my other great-great-grandfather ended up in the War of 1812, drunk down in Louisiana, somehow ended up in that war, and my other great-grandfather who fought in the Civil War lost his eye. I guess he was a Yankee. But anyway, my dad got drafted in I ended up born in Camp Gordon, Georgia during the Korean conflict. The Army got the rebate, drafted me in '72. I delayed entry for a guaranteed station in a job, which never happened. And back when I was in there, it was called OJT, on the job training. And that could take anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to be qualified as a scout recon or a tank gunner back in those damn days. Excuse my language. But anyway, the fact is the military today wants to be here. They want to do their job, and they're very well educated. And the only thing I ask you all, as a good neighbor and part of this community, who would keep that beach clean that we can enjoy on the weekend, and who would keep that hill properly environmentally controlled? I ask you, who would do that? If you gave it to the National Park Service, that might make sense. But I mean, as far as OHA goes, I don't think any of the Hawaiians can agree who in the hell is in charge. I mean, you know, so as far as I'm concerned, I have 3 golden rules on this planet. Bury that shit, bury that garbage, don't steal anybody's stuff, and pick up that crud, okay? That's all I'm asking for as a good neighbor, and the military seems to be doing that quite adequately, and I enjoy that beach on the weekend. I know I can go there, and it's clean, and I won't be harassed, and I know I can go somewhere on that weekend without a bunch of homeless idiots dancing around down there. So if you can tell me that the Hawaiians can do better down there, I would sure like to see how. So my vote goes for the military, because I know they've done a good job up to this point, and they haven't made lead bullets since I was in the Army. It was mostly made of zinc when I was in. I haven't seen lead in a bullet in a long time, unless you make it yourself. I mean, ever since the cat ball, maybe back in World War II, but since Vietnam, they haven't made it out of that. In fact, most of the bullets right now are made in Israel and London. That's where they're buying the bullets to shoot in Iraq and Afghanistan right now. We don't even manufacture our own dang bullets anymore. So, as far as polluting goes, they have got a whole bunch of people scrutinizing them. And I recommend that we keep the training up, because someday we might need them instead of stupid Bush's war.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Pinocchio. Aloha. I'm here to testify against the military and against the weapons of mass destruction that you stick on our sovereign nation to make us a nation of mass destruction. However, of you, all your bombs that you dump out on our ocean are going into our fish that we're eating. All your pollution is going into our water, into our air. Depleted uranium, the half-life of that is 4.5 billion years. Can't clean that up. If you're a Hawaiian, you respect your aina. You don't allow this crap to go on. How dare you guys? You're polluting my home that is illegally occupied by you. Get the hell out. You understand? Hawaii was never been in the United States. Read up, check it out. We're still a sovereign nation. Illegally occupied by the United States of America. Who is the main terrorist? You assholes, get the fuck out.
Wait.
Hey,